Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Brayden.
Welcome to this week's edition of HomeKit 5. Let's dive into it. This week we're going to talk about a Kara with a new camera. We're going to talk about the Hue Bridge end of life. Wah, wah. And then some app updates and hub updates. So let's dive into that.
All right. Akara confirms that its upcoming G2H camera will support HomeKit Secure Video. There's no release or price date yet, so that's kind of a little bit.
I think you meant release date or
price. Yes. Yeah, price date. Mm-hmm.
That's what dads are for. Yeah, and I don't know if we're going to get a release date on this. The article, we got this one off iMore, and they talked about, the production issues with the coronavirus pandemic in China, pushing back production most likely. So I think we're going to see this one a bit later than they even initially anticipated. There was some hope that maybe it was going to be a Q1 product. But my guess is we'll probably see it closer to Q2. And, the question is, will we see it in the U.S.? I don't know. I'm only half interested in this. I don't know. I love my Akara stuff, but I also feel weird having, Chinese run various, HomeKit devices in the house. I don't know. Maybe that's the paranoid person in me. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe we'll play a guess that price name. At what price would this be interesting to you?
I don't know. Let me see what the others are priced at. I don't know. I'd say 100 to 200.
Yeah, I think at 100 it's interesting. I think at 200 it's maybe a little too much. But
yeah.
With HomeKit Secure Video, you at least maybe don't have to worry about streaming to a server in China. Instead, it would go to iCloud and only be available there. I do like that Apple keeps stepping in and doing these things like HomeKit Router and HomeKit Secure Video, and they're somewhat concerned about privacy in an age of things not being private.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of nice.
Definitely is.
All right, let's talk about that Hue Bridge. So maybe not necessarily HomeKit related directly, because they're end-of-lifing the version 1 of the Hue Bridge. So if you have the round Hue Bridge versus the square one is HomeKit compatible, it's version 2, and that one's fine. We're only talking about version 1 here. It is being end-of-lifed. They won't be giving any new updates. The surprising thing to me is that they're going to kick it out of their cloud. So you won't be able to control it remotely. You'll only be able to control it using the app on the same network, was my understanding of it. So people, I think rightly so, are a little annoyed or upset at that. It seems like you're really crippling functionality. I do get that they're pushing version 1 off to be its own app, but there's no reason why. These are just API endpoints, right? I'm just making a call to your service with some data, and maybe you're calling back somehow, or getting into the device through some kind of bridge that you've created. There's no reason they couldn't support this thing if they really wanted to. So it's a little disappointing. Again, I think we have another Sonos situation on our hands. Maybe there'll be enough outcry that they'll kind of change their mind on this, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I know that we're not strictly talking about this and we don't have an article pulled up, but I did read somewhere that there might be a brighter outlook for the whole entire Sonos situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wonder if I can find that article.
Yeah, it seems like you invest money into an ecosystem, you expect it to be around and work for a while. And I get that, they're saying, someone got mad and said, I'm okay if you don't do further software development on old hardware, whatever, but why are you breaking the online services? That's a valid question. That's very much a choice that they're making. The When it comes to like, someone else replied to the tweet and said like, it's I don't know. It's like, how long until version 2 is end of life? Like, at this point, you've essentially said, yes, we're going to end of life that at some point. And they tried to reply and say, we made version 2 of the hub to be more future proof. But there's going to come a time where there's some kind of outdated chip and they're going to want a newer chip that offers more functionality. And, like, when that comes, how long, when version 3 comes out, how long is version 2 gonna still be good? So I don't know, little disappointing in some of these choices that they're making. They're penalizing early adopters, and if you have the bulbs, maybe it's only $50-$100 to upgrade your bridge, but at the same time, like, I don't think anyone likes being forced to spend money to keep a product they already have running correctly in the way that they expect it to run and the way that it was sold to them to run. So definitely get that.
Yeah, I could kind of understand this whole situation if like they stopped working on a hardware level, like some of the older ones just like were failing and then they were going to end of life it, but it's not. They're still functional.
Yeah. I mean, really its job is just to send Zigbee commands out to Zigbee devices. So, and the other thing is too, like, you can use other hubs to probably control it if you wanted to, but I don't know, it's still just kind of disappointing to see from a manufacturer. You want to do the next one?
Yeah, Abode updates its app for HomeKit security system. So okay.
Yeah, it looks like version 5 is out.
Yeah.
It was unclear to me if it's still in beta from the article that we read. But it looks like they're adding a whole bunch of support around like automations and new dashboards, and it looks pretty slick. So I'm kind of interested in it. I mean, we kind of bought into the UV security system. I guess it's not a security system, security camera. And we have the Aqara alarm system here, but it's one of those things. I kind of wonder, can you get remote monitoring on the Abode? I always want to say Adobe when I see the word.
I did too. I was like,
my brain just it really wants to just autofill Adobe when I look at that word. It kills me every time.
It does not look like the version 5 is out on iPad yet. So let me see. iPhone app still says version 4.3.7.
Okay, yeah. So maybe this is still in beta. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always excited to see. They mentioned shortcut automations in the post as well. So I'm always a fan of that. We've been diving more and more into shortcuts. If you haven't yet, we'll put a link in the show notes, and definitely like up in the YouTube corner we'll put a link to the video we did last week. But we just did like a quick behind the scenes look of how our podcast studio is set up. So if you wanted to see that, that's out there on YouTube. And we've been using more and more shortcuts to kind of automate our workflow here. So that's been kind of fun. So I'm a big fan of seeing like more apps support shortcuts. I kind of wish all my apps supported shortcuts. That would be super awesome.
That would be.
It would be. All right. Last story. It's about the Starling Hub. I don't think we talked about the Starling Hub before on here. But essentially it is, I think, a Raspberry Pi with Homebridge on it. And you just plug it into your network, and there's probably like an easy to set up interface on it. I might have to check this out afterwards. We don't have any Nest stuff, but it's very specifically like niche targeted to, you have Nest stuff and you want to put that into your HomeKit enabled house. So you just get this Starling hub and set it up, and it will allow you to add your Nest stuff to your home. I don't know. I like the idea of it. One of the things that has always frustrated me with Homebridge, and we haven't talked about this much either, is just like its reliability. And so I think having a Pi that's like dedicated and has a company behind it that is strictly working on Nest support is kind of interesting and exciting to me, because like you just have like that becomes its own point of failure, whereas like I've had problems before where we had a plugin that I wasn't even using, but it was still installed and like configured to do nothing, but it would crash occasionally. And like when you like we're using it for the garage door opener as well, so we've got like the MyQ, and Homebridge is exposing that to HomeKit, because I read bad reviews on the MyQ bridge. But anyway, like when it would crash and you'd be like, hey, open the garage door, and like it wouldn't do it, that's very frustrating. So I could see where Starling would be kind of interesting. But anyway, they added two-way audio support for Nest cameras. So I think it included the doorbell. Yeah. Cameras and video doorbells. So this is cool. I like seeing this. I like having personally like little dedicated Raspberry Pis. Like I have one sitting here on the desk that's like serving up our DNS through Pi-hole. So that was a little project we did. When did we do that?
That was like a couple months ago. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of this. Would be curious to try it out, but again, we don't have any Nest stuff anymore. So.
Yeah, I actually was scrolling around on Reddit and I saw someone like complaining about Homebridge, and I'm like, oh, well, this is like a solution for them.
Yeah.
Because they were like having some problems. They were like, oh, I don't know. I like have Ring and some Nest stuff, and I want it all to just work together without having a huge hassle of Homebridge.
This is still Homebridge, though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I think so. We might have to take a look at this thing. Anyway, it does look like they support a whole range of things, like the thermostat, temperature sensors, the Nest Protect, which I will say, Nest has some of the better stuff in the industry, in my opinion. I've always been impressed with the thermostat and the Protect. Let's see, what else do they support? Indoor, outdoor, IQ cameras, the Hello, the Nest Hub. Ooh, coronavirus cough. And then Nestio lock. So, yes. Anyway. Guess that's it for this week. I would say if you haven't already, like, go wash your hands right now. Stop that coronavirus spread. I saw an interesting shortcut in it. Like, you can tell it, like, what's the coronavirus updates for the United States, and it'll go out there and like, I guess there's some API endpoint it can hit and get like the number of cases and the number of deaths and the number of recovered people. So super cool use of technology to kind of push forward epidemiology, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. If you would, the couple ways you can help. Today we have to get a website up so that we can get our Amazon affiliate account back. They kicked us off, and then we'll update all those links. But one way is leave a review. Another way is we'll get those affiliate links updated. If you are shopping for HomeKit stuff and you found our show helpful in anything, be sure to like click through our show notes, any links that we have. It doesn't cost you anything extra. We do get a little kickback off that. Help support the show. Yeah, so those are probably the two biggest ways. Or social media. We have a Twitter account now. I think it's smarthome_life. And then We have a Instagram account that Brayden's in charge of, but he hasn't posted anything yet.
I haven't posted anything.
Anyway, we will see and talk to you guys next week.